And on this episode, we're working on that thing. Take a look at some of the stuff on this bed and you'll see why I'm changing it. So on the bed here, I got no comment there, but this was replaced from there to here. Why they didn't do the whole thing, I have no idea. That's very strange. That's been replaced. There's been a patch panel put in there. There's a patch panel put there. This has been replaced. There's been a patch panel there. Patch panel there. I'm not sure what's going on. This may have been replaced, I'm not sure, but this is wonky. This is a piece of electrical conduit. A piece of angle iron that's put on there. That brace has been replaced. This is all rotted out here. These guys are falling off. That brace has been replaced. Big patch panel here. That brace is rotted out. And the whole thing is crooked. So, I like original patina, but there's not a whole lot to save here. And plus, the whole thing's pretty rickety, so I mean it is, you know, needed a definite upgrade. So I'm going to still try to keep it looking the same without completely falling apart. So just need to pull off that brace, bolts there, then I'll address this fender at some point. It should just come off. It's barely on there. Bolts come loose, so that's pretty much non-existent. There we go, look, done. And pull those off. So, easy money. Well, that was easy. There was literally like 8 bolts holding this thing on, so it's all loose now. But yeah, it was pretty much just the fenders of the running boards that was all holding the thing on there. I had the bolts that hold the wood to the frame, but the nuts had fell off, so there was only one holding that on there. So it's quality work here. This plan was not well thought out. Not a good plan at all. Well, that's something. Well, at least I successfully managed to drive up the ramp today, so we got something to start with here. It's the most secure that thing's been since I've owned it. So that is a mild improvement. So now to put the fenders on and other stuff I missed. So I got my fender off here. And actually the fender itself is really not in horrible condition. It's got this, looks to be a piece of galvanized metal riveted there to fix the crack, which I'll probably leave. It's all solid up here, so that's nice. So just a couple little tweaks there. So I'm going to weld this piece up here. See if I can correct a little bit of that before I bolt it back on. Weld this tab back on here. So not too much, but just enough to make it strong. This thing's a whole other story. Grab the other fender. So the wheel arch is lined up here. I guess I could put another clamp up here. It's actually different here. Then if you go over to here, this fender seems quite a bit longer. And of course you can see the shape of the two of them is significantly different, although I don't know exactly what is factory and what is just foobar from damage over the years, but there's a significant difference. Now at the moment, this is what I got, so trying to make do with what I gotta make do with. I'm not getting too excited. So are they actually indeed different, or am I just telling myself something that I don't really understand? Let's put them on the ground. Well, I'd have to say they're the same height. Appear to me to be the same shape in the grand scheme of things. But up here, we've got some differences. So, as you can see, the running board mount for that one's much longer.
than that one. Why was it mounted the way it was mounted is a big question. So, if I just make that piece there, modify that piece there, here, then we'll be theoretically the same. Now, this fender's been on there a long time. As you can see, originally, well, I don't know. Looks like it's brown on the inside. That might be primer. Might be a originally new old stock fender, who knows? But it was clearly spray painted blue at one point. That one's painted blue. Originally it was black. And then they were spray painted green. And this is quite old. So this thing has been on there for probably a good long while. So can I make a slick purse out of a sow's ear? Well, maybe a coin purse, but you know, we'll see what we can do. Well, we'll see what I can do. I can't make it no worse. How's that? Think positive. Always positive. But with the wheel lips lined up, the length is the same. But up here, probably fix that so it makes more sense. And that one is longer in the front, but I don't know if it's just because it's all beat up or not. So I think I'm going to cut this front section off and then mount the fender and then finagle it just a little bit. Let me see if I can maybe tweak the back of these just a touch. Because I know that one is a little bent flat and that one's obviously way round. I don't know which is right, which is wrong. But this is where we're at. Besides, I'm sure nobody will notice. It's not like I'm going to tell anybody. It'll be just fine. So, after taking that one, welding up all the cracks on it, which is only about 6 of them, welded there, welded on the front, welded over there, blah, 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 blah. All around this edge had numerous cracks in it. So now my shape is correct, based on at least how it was stamped. So, that is making a vast improvement. Made the fender much more rigid. See, I got rid of the rivets there that were holding a piece of metal on the inside, so pulled those out and welded it. So I'm going to leave the weld unfinished so it looks like it's, you know, the way it's always been. So time to start on that one and see what the story is. Now I can already tell some differences. Actually, let me clamp these together and then I'll show you. So, you can see those shapes. So, I'm not sure what is right and what is wrong. But clearly that one's a little more square. So I don't know if it's just bent or if it's actually that way. But I feel like this should come down like this. So maybe I'll cut a portion out there. I don't know. Once I start moving things around, we'll see what happens. This actually looks like it was bent and straightened out. So that actually might be what my biggest problem is. We'll find out. But lined up here on the bottom there, for the most part my bolt holes line up until we get here, which goes there. And then you can see the difference in the lip there. That one clearly comes down more. So it's just going to be a matter of whacking that off and gluing them back on. Well, little more advanced than that, but so I don't know. Pull pattern off that one. We'll see what we can do. In the meantime, I'm going to knock some of the dings out of this thing while I got a chance. Weld up this big crusty job here. And then just got a couple little cracks there. Re-weld the brace here, and then start hackering this apart here and see if we can't get this thing looking proper. So, made myself a little cardboard template, which I'm actually going to cut out of a piece of plywood as a buck, but you can see how far off we are. Let's see here, something like that. So we're a little ways out of where we should be. So I'm going to assume the top piece, which is a little mangly, but we're going to go ahead and retain that feel. And then I think this is pushed in here. So if we put our plywood buck there, then we can beat the rest of this into submission, I think. And then I think we'll just have to make a small filler piece. And then the fenders will match. Easy peasy. Alright, I got all them studs in there. So I can't do that one because the frame's in the way. But we're going to be alright. I actually drilled and tapped these so I could thread them in. Except I forgot that one, so I guess I'll do that first. But before we bolt that fender on, let's go over here and make a pattern of this fender here, because I need this piece here. I was thinking all night long about how to do this here, so I can see if I can't make a... Oh. Hello, puppy dog. Did you come to help? Alright. Whatever. So I'm going to make a wooden pattern for in here. And a wooden pattern in here. One that I can flip around, actually, so I got a plan. It's a loosely put together plan, but it's a plan. So I'm gonna do that real quick, make a pattern, and then we'll bolt that sucker on. So let's grab ourselves some paper here. Move my hearse parking sign. Come on. So the paper never lies, as they say. Alright, so right here is the corner that I know we got to work on. So I'm going to attach the corner because I think I can just break a 90 on the sheet metal and use that. So I'll take and slit it right here. And then I can, well, we'll see what happens. So now that I got my pattern pretty well perfected, you can see how simple it actually is. Because this is all flat and this is all flat. So it's a matter of cutting a slit in the sheet metal that I can work this around with minimal effort. I got this little reverse curve here, which is really just nothing more than sort of hand bending, I think. I'm gonna make sure I add for this flange here and flange on the back. And it's just a matter of working this corner into shape, which really could be nothing more than just hammer dolly work. So not a big deal. Then I make sure I add enough here so then I can work it around, you know, this radius here, which I'll use like a dolly around here somewhere. This one here, I'll use that one to hammer the edge around, so really not that big of a deal. Like everything in theory.
that is so much better. I mean, that is a million times more rigid than it was, so getting there.
Alrighty, now we're time to cause some real damage. Gonna need you. Oh. Gonna need you too. That's probably it. Alrighty. Get you there. Get my favorite hammer. You got a date with destiny, Fender. Ugh. Gotta address that. You're going to very quickly go away. It's gonna be good times.
Just because it's Swiss cheese doesn't mean it's gotta be, you know, bent. The red scrub pad makes it easy to find the high spots in here.
Just sort of give a little once over and you'll see where things start to stick up here and there. Right there. I mean, obviously we're not chasing perfection here at the moment, but no reason to make it any worse. Who's barking at? I think they just team up to cause mayhem. Alright. So you can see in here, this thing's already had quite a bit of welding on it. It's got a weld there. It's ripped there. That's a monthly uncling in there, so let's see what we can accomplish.
All right, going back to my cardboard.
Figure how this thing was. Like that. How the hell does this thing go? Alright, so goes like that. So this is the inside. It goes like this. That's how far out that thing is. So, alright.
So let's start slicing and dicing and see what we can do. So I'm just going to do a couple pie cuts to begin, and we'll see what moves around on me.
So with just a couple of relief cuts here, we are getting semi-closer. So is this a pipe dream or what? Because I mean, this is all mangled up over here, so I just cut it where it was already damaged. So maybe I'll just make this piece here. This is the whole tail piece. I'm not sure if it's supposed to be this shape or not, but it's what we call foobar.
Either this is genius or a complete waste of time. I don't know, haven't decided yet. Well, the scab is off. Only go up from here. was not easy.
So, getting closer here. I mean, this is kind of a little flimsy at the moment here because it's all cut, but I think I just secure this and make a little piece there. I'm thinking that'll work. You can kind of tweak that down where it goes, and I mean, clearly there's been damage down here, so I don't know what is actually factory and what is not factory, but we're gonna try to get her. Well, alrighty, now we got some of the riffraff out of the way here. We'll go ahead and mount this thing back up, straighten it out as best I can, and then make patch panels. If I take and try to do the patch panels on the workbench, it's highly likely that it will not fit when I bolted it on there, because there's so much twist in the fender because it's so big. It really has to be bolted in place, which might be part of a problem with why everything seems so out of whack currently. So, let's see what I can do here. This thing's fitting better already, just bolting it on, but it's a matter of squishing some things around here. So I got this lined up where it should be, nice and tight. Obviously I'll remove that brace, but I have to get some measurements to make sure everything is okay here compared to the other side. This is all nice and solid, and this is now actually becoming the proper shape. I found my cardboard. Let me see here. It goes this way, that way, that way, that way. See? Now we're actually in shape where we gotta be. So now I can put this piece back, and the rear will be done. Which, I'm not 100% sure if I had to do that, but it is what it is. So we're committed now. Get in there. Alrighty, we're looking much better there, so let's give her a try. And hope I didn't do it in reverse. Alright. That's the beginning of something. So I'll start trimming it down, tightening it up. Alrighty, well, we're getting there. I think just a little more finessing and I think we'll be there. Gotta start with something. So now, based off my paper pattern, I need to bend it here. Well, I'm gonna bend it from here to here, and this will be a slot cut. And this will dolly over to make a rounded corner. This is where to bolt on. This will be a downturn flange that I can put in the shrinker to get the shape I need over here. So, this goes... Yes, wife. Well, don't just stand there, let's try it out. It's getting close. Do a little finagling, and then we're going to get it buttoned up here. It's beginning of something. Probably should stop saying that. I'm going to pull it out of here. And I'm going to shrink that side there so it curves in and will suck up against this fender here. Or that piece, that's all that we'll need. I'm going to start forming these just by hand, maybe with the, I don't know, something round to bring that in and bring this in, starting right around here, so those two will meet up and I can trim them to fit and weld there. So then it's just a matter of, once I get that done, I can start working that there, because it needs to be something like this. So the piece comes down about right here is where my cut is. So this is all fine. So it's just a matter of working that area. So, challenge accepted. It's not rocket science. It's just hitting metal with hammers. Just use the English wheel to sort of finagle it a little bit there. I know it doesn't look like much, but it's more than we had an hour ago. Alright, hold the saw, trim it, tack weld it, put it back on. Only about 10 more times. Could I have bought one of these? Yes. Should I have bought one of these? Yes. But I didn't, so
here we are.